Before we start, I think Harimanan Prabhu has got his hand up. Prabhu, we're going to say something. Your hand is up and you are muted. We cannot hear you, Prabhu.
I think it's by mistake. It's been on since we logged in.
Okay. So let me see if I can lower the hand. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. So you can start whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chapter 1, Observing the Armies of Kurukshetra. Text 1. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmakshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsava mamaka pandavaschaivam kim akurvata Sanjaya.
Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do?
Text 2. Sanjaya uvacha drishtva tu padam vanikam vyuddham duryodhanastada acharyam upasangamyam raja vachanam abravit.
Sanjaya said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words.
Text 3. Pashyantam Pandu Putranam Acharya Mahitam Chamum Vyudham Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata.
O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada.
Text 4. Atra Shura Maheshwasa Bhimarjuna Samayudhi Yuyudhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharatha.
Here in this army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna. Great fighters like Yuyudhana, Virata, and Drupada.
Text 5. Drishtaketus Chekitana Kashi Raja Cha Viryavan Puruchita Kunti Bojascha Sabhyascha Narapungava.
There are also great, heroic, powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chitiketana, Kashi Raja, Purujit, Kunti Boja, and Saibya.
Text 6. Yudhamanyascha Vikranta Utamaujascha Viryavan Saubhadro Drupedeyascha Sarva Eva Maharataha.
There are the mighty Yuddhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamauja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters.
Text 7. Asmakam tu vishishtaye tanniboda dvijotamam nayaka mama sanyasya samrantham tan pravimite.
But for your information, O best of the Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are specially qualified to lead my military force.
Text 8. Bhavam Bhishmascha Karnascha Kripascha Samitim Jayaha Ashwatthama Vikarnascha Somadattis Tathaivacha.
There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwadhama, Vikarna, and sons of Somadatta called Burishvara, Rava, who are always victorious in battle.
Text 9. Anyecha Bahavasura Mad Arthe Tyaktva Jivitaha Nana Shastra Prahar Naha Prahar Naha Sarve Yutta Visharada.
There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science.
Text 10. Aparyaptam tad asmakam balam bhishma pirakshitam paryaptam tvam idam etesam balam bhima pirakshitam.
Our strength is immeasurable, and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhim, is limited.
Text 11. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avastitaha bhishmam eva viraksantu bhavata sarva eva hi.
All of you must now give full support to grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army.
Text 12. Tasya sanjanaya harsham kuru vriddam pitamaha simhanadam vinatyochaya sankham daddamo pratapvana.
Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy.
Text 13. Tataha sankascha beryascha panavanaka gomukhaha saha shaiva vyahanyata sa sabdas tumullo bhavat.
After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous.
Text 14. Tataha sveter hayer yukte mahati shyandane stito madhava pandavaschaiva divyo shanko pradad matuhu.
On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells.
Text 15. Panchajanya rishikesho devadattam dhananjayah Poundram dadamo mahashankham bhima karma brikotaraha.
Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his, the Devadatta, and Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell called Poundra.
Text 16 to 18. Anantai vijayam raja kunti putro yudhishthiraha nakula sahadevascha sugosha mani pushpaka Kashyascha Parameshwa asa Shikhandi cha Maharatha Drishtadyumno Viratascha Satyakish cha Parajitaha Drupadeyascha Sarva Saha Prithvipate Subhadrascha Mahabahu Shankam Daduma Prithak Prithak.
King Yudhishthir, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, the Ananta Vijaya, and Nakula and Sahadev blew the Sugosha and Mani Pushpaka. The great archers, the king of Kashi, the great father fighter Shikhandi, Dhristadyumna, Virata, the unconquerable Satyaki, Draupada, the sons of Draupadi, and the others, O king, such as the mighty armed sons of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells.
Text 19. Sagosho drishtarashtranam hridayani vyadarayat nabhascha prithvim chaiva tumulo vyanunadayan.
The blowing of these different conch shells become uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra.
Text 20. Atha vyavastitan drishtva dhartarashtram kapi tvajaha pravritte shastra sampate tanur udyamya pandavaha rishikesham tadavakyam idam aha mahipate.
At that time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn in the army array, Arjuna then spoke to Lord Krishna these words.
Text 21 to 22. Arjun uvacha senayor ubayor madhye ratham stapayame achyuta yavad etan nirikshe aham yotu kaman avashtitam kermaya saha yotavyam asmin rana samudyame.
Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms.
Text 23. Yotsyamanam avekshe aham ya ete atre samagataha dhatarashtrasya durbuddher yuddhe priya chikirshavaha.
Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra.
Text 24. Sanjay uvacha evam yukto rishikesho gudakeshena bharata senayor ubayor madhye stapayitva rathotamam.
Sanjaya said, O descendant of Bharata, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Apologies for any mistakes. I think my blood circulation has gone to my tummy rather than my head at the moment.
Very well. No, it was nice, very nicely recited. Thank you so much, Hemamata ji and Sailesh Prabhu. Excellent team. Wonderful. So let me just stop sharing this. So devotees, today we will not discuss a verse from the Gita as we normally do. But because today is a very, very special day, it's Narasimha Chaturdashi, very, very special day. So we will try and discuss some pastimes of Lord Narasimha Dev and Prahlad Maharaj today. But before that, we will just do the invocation and the Mangalacharan. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Charu Swami Niti Namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashata Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. So let me just share my screen now. Okay, Lord Narasimha Bhagwan Ki Jai. Okay, so amazing day. We were all fasting. I was fasting till about 6:30 today. Normally you fast till dusk, but I think the temple, they were breaking fast at 6:30, so we just followed the temple program. So to be honest, feeling a little bit weak, having not had anything during the day, but I'm sure that Lord Narasimha will give us all the energy to go through this. So let me just go to the next slide. So we go through the backstory first. Oh, by the way, before I start, I'm not sure if I did right. So this the same class actually I did on Saturday. I was giving a class at the Harinam Sangha, and I was requested to do to speak about Lord Narasimha. So I did the same class there. So if anybody was there at the Harinam Sangha on Saturday, please accept my humble what you call humble. Oh, I'm so sorry that you're going to actually my humble apologies rather. See how it is when your body is weak, the mind is weak as well. My humble apologies, because you will be hearing this class again. Ajay Bhai was there, I know. Maybe some others were there too. So right, the backstory. We'll go back to where the origin of Hiranyakashipu is. So devotees in this picture, who can tell me who the wonderful blue personalities are?
Ajay and Vijay.
Jai Vijay.
Yes. Jai and Vijay, not Ajay and Vijay. Ajay Bhai is here, yes. Jai and Vijay, thank you. Jai and Vijay. So Jai and Vijay, they were the gatekeepers at Vaikuntha. And who are the four personalities? The
four Kumaras.
The four Kumaras. So the four Kumaras, one time, they decided to go and visit the Supreme Lord. So when apparently they passed through 6 gates of Vaikuntha, and when they came to the 7th gate, at the 7th gate, they were stopped by Jai and Vijay. So the reason why they were stopped, of course, is not mentioned, but I was just speculating. Imagine if you go to any place, if you go to some maybe invited function, you go to a wedding or a party or whatever, there's always a dress code, right? Sometimes they say you must be in black tie. Sometimes they say a suit, or sometimes they say Indian dress like that, right? So in this case, you can imagine we got the four Kumaras who forget about being aware of any dress. They're not even aware about their own bodies. This is how self-realized they are. So I suppose this is why they were stopped, because you go in to see the Lord, you must at least wear some clothes, for God's sake. But maybe this is one of the reasons why they were stopped. But the four Kumaras insisted, so we came here for a long way, we want to see the Lord. And the Jai and Vijay, they refused. So they got quite annoyed. And the four Kumaras, as we know, very, very powerful sages. So they cursed Jai and Vijay. So in the meantime, something else has happened, because whilst they were there at the gate, amazingly, and when this commotion was being heard, Lord Vishnu started to walk towards the gate to find out what was going on. And just as he was walking nearer, the aroma of the tulsi leaves from his lotus feet, it traveled into the nostrils of these 4 sages. Now, it is said that these 4 sages, up to now, they had the impersonal understanding of the Supreme Lord. So we may think, okay, but they came here to see the Lord, so how can they have the impersonal understanding? Yeah, but what happens is, even the impersonalists, they sometimes, they recognize that there is someone called Vishnu or Krishna, but they don't see them as a supreme. They see them as a product of the Brahmajyoti, and they feel the Brahmajyoti, the impersonal Brahmajyoti, is the ultimate. So this was the understanding. But when the aroma of the tulsi leaves entered the nose of these sages, it changed their hearts completely. So there's a verse in the Bhagavatam. Maitra Rishi is quoting this verse to Vidura, 3rd canto, chapter 15, text 43. Tasya Ravinda Nayanasya Padaravinda Kinjal Kamishra Tulasi Makaranda Vayu Antargata Swa Vivarena Chakaratesham Sankshobam Aksharajusham Apichitta Tanvo. So Tashyaravinda Nayanasa Padaravinda. So Aravinda Nayanasa, so lotus feet of the Lord. Kinjal Kamishra Tulasi Makaranda. So the aroma, the air, the breeze carrying the air mixed with Mishra Tulasi Makaranda Vayu. Antargata sa vivarena chakarate. Antargata, when they enter the nostrils. Sankshobam Aksharisham Api Chitta Tanva. So they Chitta Tanva. So they experience change both in the body and mind. And it is said it is from this point on that the 4 Kumaras became devotees of the Lord rather than impersonal Lord. So that was just by the by. But then coming back to the story, so they cursed them. The curse they gave to Jaya and Vijay was that because of your misbehavior with us, you will take 7 births on the earthly planets. Just at that time, Lord Vishnu arrives, and Jaya and Vijay, they plead to Lord Vishnu, says that we've been cursed and we really don't want to go back to the earth. Please, can you please do something to retract, to nullify this curse? So Lord Vishnu says, no, the sages are so powerful, the 4 Kumaras. Once said the curse has come out of the mouth, it cannot be retracted. It has to come true. But I can give you a concession. The concession was that you can take 7 births as per the curse, as devotees of the Lord, or as my devotees, and then come back. Or, as a bargain, you can take 3 births only if you go to the earth as my enemies. So before we go ahead, let's just speak about who the 4 Kumaras are. 4 Kumaras are Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana, and Sanat Kumar. And so Jaya and Ajay, Jaya and Vijay, they accepted, of course, the lower punishment, which was to take 3 births. And can anybody tell me what were the 3 births they took?
Hiranyakashipu, Ravan,
and the trees.
Yes.
Shishupal.
Shishupal, yeah.
Ravan and Kumbhakarna.
Kumbhakarna, Shishupal, and Dantavakra. So these are the 3 births that these 2 took in the different yugas. Satyuga was Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. And in Treta Yuga, Ravana and Kumbhakarna. And in Dwapara, it's Shishupal and Dantavakra. So these are the births they took. Now, why do we think that the Lord gave them concession? You would think that if they were devotees, it's a better situation. But being enemies, they got a lesser sentence. Anybody can tell me why?
The Lord wanted to experience Virya Rasa.
Exactly, Virya Rasa, absolutely. So before we go ahead, we can just look at the rasas. Who can name the 5 primary rasas first? These are the mellows that the Lord reciprocates with his devotees, or with the rasas, or the relationships that we have with the Lord. What are the 5 primary ones?
Shantrasa,
Santa,
Sattva, Dasya,
Anta, Dasya, yes, Puja Mataji.
friendship,
Friendship, yes.
Sakya.
Sakya, yes.
Vatsalya.
then parents,
Vatsalya, and Madhurya.
Excellent. Very well done. Well done. So there you go. So Santa, neutrality; Dasya, servitorship; Sankhya, friendship; Vatsalya, parenthood; and Madhurya, so it's conjugal. And then 7 seconds. So we get 12 rasas altogether, and there are the 7 secondaries, which are, anybody?
I think one of them anger.
Yes, anger is there. Anger is there.
Bibhatsa,
Say again.
Bibhatsa,
Yeah, vibhasta. Vibhasta, what does that mean?
ghastliness.
Ghastliness, very good. So we've got 2 now. Vibhasta, ghastliness.
Is chivalry one?
Chivalry,
Chivalry.
yeah, we already mentioned that. And then, so we got 3. Anybody more?
Enemy.
And enemy already in chivalry.
Is laughter one of them?
Laughter, yeah, well done. Yes, laughter. We got 4. 3 more to go.
Is Sakya?
No, Sakya is in the primary ones.
Is it happiness there? Happiness.
Hatha,
Shock. Shock. Yes. That's right. Shock. So that was Vibhasta was mentioned just now.
and Bhaya,
Absolutely, Bhaya. In terms of fear, exactly. We still got 2 more to go, but let's see if time is running away. So Hasya we mentioned, comedy or laughter. Adbhuta we didn't mention, that's wonder, right? Then Virya we mentioned, chivalry. Then Raudra is anger, we mentioned that. Mercy we didn't mention, Karuna. So these were the 2 missing. The Adbhuta and Karuna were missing. And then Bhayanaka, horror we mentioned. And then Vibhasta, shock, we mentioned. So these are the 7. So totally 12 rasas that the Lord enjoys his pastimes in. So now, moving on, we now come back to the story. So can somebody recognize who these personalities are in the picture? You don't?
Kashyap Muni and Diti.
Yes, Kashyap Muni and Diti. And these are the parents of Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So we know the story briefly. Kashyap Muni had many wives. In fact, they're all sisters, Daksha's daughters. And they all had children, but Diti is the only one who did not have any children. So at one point, somehow, she just suddenly got the urge, and she came and pleaded to Kashyap Muni that I want a child, and I want it right now. And Kashyap Muni said, look, now it's evening time, it's not auspicious. The Bhutas and Pisatas are roaming around at the time, and it's not a good time to conceive. So please, let's come back to this some later time. But she just absolutely insisted. Cutting a long story short, and he then relents. And as a result of that union, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha were born. And these are both demons, again, because of the inauspicious time of conception, they were both born. Of course, the direct, there's the direct reason and the remote reason. The direct reason for their birth is the fact that it was inauspicious time. But the remote reason, of course, we already know, is because they had to come down because of the curse of the Kumaras to fulfill the Lord's wish to fight with him. So then Hiranyaksha, the names of these 2 demons are also amazing. So Hiranyakashipu, Hiranya means gold, and Kashipu could mean cushion or a bed. So golden bed. So golden means there was always looking for opulence, always looking for gold, and golden bed. The implication is that he was after sense gratification all the time. And then Hiranyaksha, Hiran again gold, and Aksha means eyes. So one that's looking for gold all the way, everywhere. So Hiranyaksha was always searching for gold. And it is explained that at one point, he extracted so much gold from the core of the Earth planet that it fell. Apparently, gold within, or in fact, all minerals within the Earth, they maintain the weight of the Earth so it remains in the orbit properly. Ultimately, of course, we know it's the Lord who makes sure that all the planets are orbiting in perfect order, as is explained in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. But here it is said that when Hiranyaksha extracted all the gold out of Earth, it lost its balance and it fell into the Garbhodak ocean. And then Lord Varaha appears to rescue the Earth from the bottom of the Garbhodak ocean. And at that point, there is a big fight between Hiranyaksha and Lord Varaha. And then Lord Varaha eventually, after a long fight, kills Hiranyaksha. So as a result of this, Hiranyakashipu developed a huge enmity towards the Lord. The Lord Vishnu, in the form of Varaha, they have killed my brother, so I will take revenge. But he knew that Lord Vishnu, of course, was not easy to defeat. So he decided to perform austerities, massive austerities. He stood in the valley of the Mandara hill, Mandara mountain, and he began performing austerities, standing on toes, not even on his feet. He was standing on his toes with his hands raised up like that. And he stood like that for many, many years, not just for a few hours, many, many years. And it got to a stage where there was fire emanating from his arms. And the whole universe was getting heated. The mountains were shaking, the lakes, the oceans were shaking. And the demigods, they left their own abodes and they rushed to Lord Brahma to say that something's going on, something bad's going on. We just cannot tolerate all this heat and all these vibrations going on. Please check out what's happening. And then Lord Brahma says, yes, I know what's happening. There's a devotee of mine, and he's performing severe austerities, and this is why we're experiencing all this. So please don't worry. So you can see in the next picture, Lord Brahma is arriving on the Hamsa, on the swan carrier. By this time, you can see in this picture that Hiranyakashipu, he was standing so still that an anthill had developed around his body. And the ants were actually eating up his body, but he still didn't give up. So, yes, so the Lord arrives, Lord Brahma arrives and asks him to stop and says, why are you doing this? So he as all the demons normally do, what does he ask for? He asks for mortality. I want you to give me, give me immortality, or immortality rather. The Lord Brahma says to him, look, even I am mortal. Even after many, many years of my life, I have to die. So I can't give you that. Ask for something else. So then Hiranyakashipu starts being very, very clever. He says, okay, I will ask you for different boons. And he's trying to cover all angles. So he says that I will not be killed by any man or animal. I will not be killed in air, water, or sea, or land, of course. Not indoor or outdoor, not in the daytime or at nighttime, and not by any weapon. So like this, he thought he's covered everything. And Lord Brahma said, okay, tathastu. As Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva certainly give boons quite easily when they're satisfied by their devotees. So whilst all this is going on, we'll just backtrack a little bit. When he left for the Mandara mountain for the austerities, his wife Kayadu was already pregnant. And to take advantage of the absence of Hiranyakashipu, the demigods decided to attack his kingdom because they would be weak without him. So when they came to his kingdom to fight, they also found Kayadu, and Kayadu was pregnant. So they all reasoned that, okay, this is Hiranyakashipu's son in the body of this woman, and if he is born, we will have one more big demon to deal with. So while we have the chance now, let us kidnap. Let's take Kayadu with us and wait till the child is born. And when the child is born, we'll just kill him. This way we will have one less demon to deal with. So who appears at the time? Narad Muni appears on the scene. And he tells the demigods that stop. You can't do this. Because although the child may be the semen, born from the semen of Hiranyakashipu, but I can tell you that the child in Kayadu's womb is one of the greatest devotees of the Lord. So of course, the demigods, they took Narad's word for it, and they circumambulated Kayadu and then left. So Narad Muni takes Kayadu to his ashram. And Narad Muni, as all the munis they would do, they would sit and chant and glorify the Lord all day. So while he's glorifying the Lord, speaking about devotional service, Kayadu is sitting there listening. So Prahlad Maharaj, within the womb, is hearing all this Krishna Katha. So you can imagine, it is said actually that the hearing is one of the first faculties that develops in the womb. And also when one person leaves the body, the hearing is one of the last to leave. So hearing is very, very important. So in this case, there are also other examples of babies hearing in the womb. And one example that comes to my mind right now is Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu learned the art of entering into this Chaturvyuha whilst he was still in the womb of his mother when Arjuna was speaking about it. But because Uttara fell asleep, was it Uttara? No, sorry. Yes. So before it was, anyway, his mother fell asleep, and that's why he couldn't, he didn't hear how to come out. And this is what, of course, we know from the Mahabharata, got into trouble because of that. But anyway, so here, Prahlad has heard wonderful Krishna Katha from Narad Muni. So when he's born, by this time, Hiranyakashipu is back. He's got all his powers. He is terrorizing the whole world. He's telling everybody that, you know, I am the Supreme Lord and everybody should worship me. And anybody who didn't accept him as the Supreme Lord, he would just mercilessly slaughter. He was just like this, terrorizing everybody. He was so powerful, actually, that he even changed, he just turned the law of karma upside down. It is said that he changed the law of karma in such a way that if you did good deeds, you were suffering. If you did bad deeds, you were getting benefits. He had such kind of powers. So anyway, at one point, he then summons the two sons of Sukracharya to teach his son, Prahlad. What were the names of the two teachers of Prahlad Maharaj?
Sanda and Amarka.
Yes, Sanda and Amarka. Thank you so much. Sanda and Amarka. So they said to teach him, of course, the idea was teaching politics, diplomacy, warfare, how to win at any cost. You know, these are the things that he was meant to learn. But when Prahlad was in the class, he really didn't have any interest in whatever Sanda and Amarka were talking about. His mind was always absorbed in the Lord. He was thinking of all the Krishna Katha that Narad Muni had taught him. So then after a few months, once Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad Maharaj, sit on his lap and says, can you please tell me, Prahlad, what is the best thing you've learned from your gurus? Prahlad thinks, oh, my gurus? And the guru he's thinking about is Narad Muni. He's not thinking about Sanda and Amarka. So he says, the best thing I learned from my guru is, and he recites this verse 7:5:23-24. Shri Prahlad Vacha, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Mandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktishchendava Lakshana Kriyata Bhagavat Yadda Tanmanye Detam Uttamam. He says, the best thing I've learned is that we should all engage in these 9 processes of worship: Shravanam, hearing; Kirtanam, glorifying the Lord; Smaranam, always remembering the Lord; Pada Sevanam, worshipping the feet of the Lord; Archanam, doing deity doing worship of the deities; Vandanam, offering prayers to the Lord; Dasyam, serving the Lord; Sakyam, acting in friendship with the Lord; and Atmanivedanam, surrendering completely to the Lord. This is what I've heard. And he says, Tanmanye ditam uttamam. Aditam means knowledge. Tanmanye, that I think. Aditam uttamam. That is, he says, topmost learning. So Hiranyakashipu thinks, what's going on here? So he says to his teachers, this boy must be getting some bad association. Of course, bad association from him means he's getting good association. But he is saying, this is really bad association. He turns back to Prahlad, where are you getting this knowledge from? So Prahlad says, this knowledge is there in everybody's heart. It's in your heart too. It's in my heart too. And I'm automatically attracted to this knowledge. Everybody's attracted to this knowledge. Just like iron filings are automatically attracted to the magnet. Nobody tells the iron filings to go to the magnet, but they're automatically attracted to the magnet. Similarly, we all are living entities are attracted to the Supreme Lord like this. And Hiranyakashipu says, rubbish, I'm not attracted. So in reply to that, Prahlad Maharaj says, well, I know why you are not attracted. And then he speaks this wonderful verse. Shri Prahlad Uvacha Matirna Krishna Parata Svatova Mitho Vipadyeta Griha Vratanam Adanta Gobir Vishatam Tameshram Punah Punaschar Vitachar Varanam. You will hear Prabhupada in his lectures repeat this quite a lot of time. Punah Punachar Vitachar Varanam. So the translation is, Prahlad Maharaj replied, because of their uncontrolled senses, so he's saying people like you have uncontrolled senses. Because of their uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to materialistic life make progress toward hellish conditions and repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed. Their inclinations toward Krishna are never aroused, either by the instructions of others, by their own efforts, or by a combination of both. So you see, he is saying to him directly, not even indirectly, directly, that people like you, because you have uncontrolled senses, this is why you will never understand. You won't understand by your own efforts or others' instructions, or a combination of both. So this is an amazing teaching that if we are not interested, we can just introspect and see if we don't find extreme attraction to the Lord, then we must know that there must be some attachment to our senses. Our senses are still somewhat uncontrolled, and this is why we are not feeling this attraction to the Lord. So here, by this time, Hiranyakashipu is getting really wild, really angry. He says, don't be so impudent. You think I don't know what is right and what is wrong? Again, Prahlad Maharaj, a beautiful verses to reply to every of his questions. So again, this famous verse he recites. He says, Nate vidu swarthagatim hi Vishnu turashaya ye bahi artha manina andayatha ande upaniya manas te pisha tantram uruddam nibaddha. It says, persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life and who have therefore accepted their leader or guru, a similar blind man attached to the external sense objects, cannot understand that the goal of life is to return home back to Godhead and engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. As blind men guided by another blind man miss the right path and fall into a ditch, materially attached men led by another materially attached man are bound by ropes of fruitful labor, which are made of very strong cords, and they continue again and again in materialistic suffering, materialistic life, suffering the threefold miseries. So it says, actually, you don't know. Swartha gati, swartha, swa, artha, swa, artha means what is your own benefit. You don't know. Swartha. And this is why you don't know, because first of all, he said, in previous verse, he said, because of your uncontrolled senses. Now he says, because of your attachment to enjoying materialistic life. So this really touched the nerve of Hiranyakashipu. You know, there's nothing more, there's nothing that riles somebody more than to tell them that they don't know something. If somebody says, I know, and you say, no, no, you don't know. That really brings that, like, they really sort of brings out the ego in a person. So Hiranyakashipu got really angry at this stage. And he then ordered his, he speaks this verse actually. He says, if a limb of one's body is poisoned by disease, it must be amputated so that the rest of the body may live happily. Similarly, even one's own son, if unfavorable, must be rejected, although born of one's own body. So in one sense, he is not wrong. If, of course, when sometimes when a part of the body is so badly diseased that is endangering the whole body, it is amputated. And similarly, I know when we hear in Mahabharata that when Duryodhana was born, Vidura told Dhritarashtra that this son of yours, because there were so many bad omens at the time, he said, this son of yours is going to be a Kulanga. He's going to actually be, he's going to destroy the whole dynasty. So you should get rid of him. So like this, yeah. But here, of course, we are talking about somebody evil. We're talking about a devotee of the Lord. So it's opposite. Hiranyakashipu thinks that he is a bad thing and he should be cut off. But actually, he's got it all wrong. But anyway, he orders his servants. The servants come, first of all, they attack him with weapons. 1 second. He's attacked with weapons, spears, tridents, but nothing happens. All these things break. They don't get anywhere near the body. They cannot penetrate the body of Prahlad Maharaj. There seems to be like a shield around him. They get a huge elephant, and the elephant is ordered to trample on Prahlad. Again, the elephant's heavy foot could not get anywhere near Prahlad Maharaj. They throw him in a pit of snakes. The snakes couldn't do anything to him. They throw him from a cliff, and Krishna catches him at the bottom. Now nothing happens to him. So like this, he could not be harmed. And Hiranyakashipu is getting very, very nervous now. He says this boy is only 5 years old, but he's so powerful that he is not being hurt by all these things. Don't know what to do. At that time, Shanda and Amarka, they say to him, look, don't give up. Let us keep teaching him. And hopefully, he's still very young. When he grows up a little bit, he will maybe assimilate our instructions, and maybe he will change his intelligence and come to his senses. So Hiranyakashipu has no choice. He says, yes, please go ahead and do your best. So then he goes back to the classes. So Prahlad Maharaj, once again, he is still very much in Krishna consciousness. So whenever there's a chance, when the teachers are gone somewhere or break time, what he does, he will gather all his classmates around and would start preaching to them. And this is a very famous verse that he preaches, Prahlad Uvacha, Kaumara acharet pragno dharman bhagavatam iha dullabam manusham janma tadyap dhruvam arthadam. Prahlad Maharaj tells his classmates, one who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved, and although temporary, like other bodies, it is meaningful because in human life, one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. So, Durlabham Manusham Janma, and although this body is temporary, it is, although it's adhruvam, temporary, but still arthadam, it is very, very meaningful. So Chanda and Amarka, there's another verse that also came to mind that he tells the students, Tatropaya Sahasrana Ayam Bhagavat Odita Yadishware Bhagavati Yataye Anjasarati. So he says, of all the different processes recommended for disentanglement from material life, the one personally explained and accepted by the Supreme Personality Godhead should be considered all perfect. That process is a process of duty, of performance of duty, by which love for the Supreme Lord develops. So after a while, you know, when Chanda and Amarka found out that, look, he's not changing and we are going to be in trouble. So he said, rather than Hiranyakashipu find out and then trouble, give us punishment, let us tell him. So they went to him and they said, we've done everything, but he really is very staunch in his beliefs. He's not going to change. So this time Hiranyakashipu decides to take things in his own hands. And they're in the palace, he calls Prahlad Maharaj, they're in this palace, in the palace, and he's saying, for one last time, I'm telling you, get all the junk out of your head and repeat after me that I am the Supreme Personality Godhead, nobody else, I am the Supreme. And he says, Prahlad Maharaj replies, no, Father, you're not the Supreme. The Supreme Lord is Supreme Personality Godhead, Vishnu, and Vishnu is all-pervading. And this, he gets very angry, Hiranyakashipu, and he picks up his heavy mace, and there's a pillar there. And he says, is your Lord, if he's all-pervading, is he in this pillar? And Prahlad Maharaj says, yes. Look at the implicit faith he had. He said, yes, he's in the pillar as well. So Hiranyakashipu takes a big swipe and whacks this pillar very, very hard. And of course, then we know what happens. The Lord appears. Narasimha Dev Bhagwan ki jai. Jaya Narasimha, Shri Narasimha, Jaya Jaya Narasimha. Ugram Viram Mahavishnum Jwalantam Sarvato Mukham Narasimha Vishram Bhadram Mrityu Namamiham. Jaya Narasimha, Shri Narasimha, Jaya Jaya Narasimha Praladesh Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bringa. Narasimha Dev Bhagwan ki jai. Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. So the Lord appears from the pillar, ferocious form. He then has a big fight, long time they're fighting. The Lord can actually finish Hiranyakashipu in a second. But two reasons. Number one, as we said earlier, he wanted to enjoy the viranas. So he was fighting, enjoying the fighting. The other reason that he waited for a little while, because he had to wait for a particular time. And we'll understand in a minute why. So exactly when evening time, Sandhya time, when it's not daytime or not nighttime, he takes Hiranyakashipu on his lap. So he's not on the land, he's not in the air, he's not on water. He takes him to the doorway of the palace. So he's not inside or he's not outside. So like this, he fulfills, he actually protects all the vows, all the boons that Brahma had given him. But then with his nails, which are not weapons, they're just his nails, he rips apart Hiranyakashipu's chest and he kills him like this. And then demigods came to witness all this, and demigods, Narasimha Maharaj, Narasimha Dev was so furious and he was so angry that none of the demigods could dare go anywhere near him. And then they asked Prahlad Maharaj to go near him and pacify him. And as soon as the Lord sees Prahlad Maharaj, he calms down and he asks Prahlad Maharaj for a boon. Prahlad Maharaj says, I don't want anything. I don't want anything. Two things I want. First thing, please give the intelligence to all these demons to come to their senses and worship you. And the other boon he asked, imagine, this is the boon he asked. Although his father tried so hard to kill him and harm him in so many ways, he says, please, my father he doesn't know what he's doing. Please give him give him liberation. So these are the two boons he asks. And there's a little bit more to say, but devotees, we will stop here because we were out of time, already 2040 or so. So it's to take your time more than 8:30. But I will now stop and Request any realizations, corrections, comments. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hema Mataji.
I often wonder that did people like Hiranyakashipu with the demoniac qualities exist in the Satyug? Because I thought it was all Sattva Guna then, it was all Sattvic and there was no demoniac kind of qualities. But we hear Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruv Maharaj, his father. So have you got any kind of
Yes.
insight?
So, the demons always existed. Demons were always there. But as we know, in the Satyuga, they used to be in different planets. And so there was distance between demons and devotees. So yeah, they always existed. And then once in a while like this, they would come across and have a fight. But the demons have always existed. But the idea is in the Satyuga, the mode of goodness was in prominence. It wasn't that the other modes did not exist, but the mode of goodness was in heavy prominence. And this is why most people were in that mode.
Right. Okay. Thank
But then
you.
as ages go down, the passion gets more prominent, and eventually, of course, passion and ignorance, both of them get prominent like that.
Now demons live within us.
Now, exactly. So previously it was different planets, then it was the same planet, then it became the same country, the same family, and of course now in the same body.
Hare Krishna Mukunda-Hari. Just to mention, Kashyapa Muni had two wives. One is Diti and one is Aditi. So Daita is always there, no?
Oh yes.
They're different planets. Yeah.
Exactly this. So Daityas were born of Aditi, correct, and Aditi. So he had many wives, but these two were there. Yes. Thank you for that. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Prabhuji, the demigods were there and Lakshmi Mata was there, and even she felt a little bit scared at that stage. How come she felt scared and she was not able to pacify Narasimha Dev, that they asked Prahlad Maharaj to go and pacify Narasimha Dev? Can you explain that?
Yes. So two things. Number one, when somebody's really angry, you can even take a mundane example, right? If in a family, a father is really, really angry, it doesn't matter who he's angry at, but the mother will stay away from him because what happens, generally speaking, is that when somebody is in a very bad mood, you come near him, he might take it out on you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So in Gujarati, we say that dukeche petma pagreche mathu. So something else is bothering him, but he will take it out on you because you happen to be there. So that's one reason, like a mundane reason why they were thinking, look, if we don't want to go anywhere near him, he's so furious at the moment, he might just take a swipe at us. That's one thing. And secondly, what was the second thought that's coming to my mind? Secondly, it was also the pastime that the demigods wanted Prahlad Maharaj to have this honor of pacifying him.
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Pamela Mataji. Thank you. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna Chaturdashi Prabhu.
Wonderful katha. It's so enlivening. Every year we hear it, but we want to hear more and more. And we are so grateful that Prabhupada has brought this wonderful message, which is in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And, we pray to Lord Narasimha to drive the demons in our hearts so we can help him and Chaitanya Prabhu to spread the wonderful holy names.
Haribo, wonderful thought. Thank you, Chaturdashi Prabhu. Thank you. So you know what, your thoughts are quite right. We hear this katha every year. We speak it and we hear it every year. And as I was saying earlier, I don't know if you were there in the beginning, on Saturday, I did the same class actually on Saturday, the Harinam Sangha. And I was apologizing to people like Ajay Bhai, who I saw on the class, that he would have to hear it again. But then the point here is that these kathas are so amazing, Prabhu, that, not just hearing it every year after year, but even if you hear these kathas every day, they never get stale. Not just that, amazingly, these kathas, even if we are repeatedly hearing them, they are constantly cleansing our hearts. We may think nothing's happening. We've heard this katha before, now we heard it again today. But just by hearing it and by me speaking it today, my heart and your hearts have been cleansed by a certain degree more than they were yesterday.
Absolutely. So ever teaching.
This is the potency.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Chaitanya. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Meena Mataji.
Can I say, like one of can sing like Narasimha prayer today?
Oh, we should. You're right. Yes, that's a good point. Good idea. We should definitely sing it. And as soon as we finish all the questions, I think questions are done. If anybody any burning questions, or those who go to Narasimha prayers, very good idea. Thank you, Meena. Okay, so let's see. Do you have a volunteer? I do know that Palika Mataji has a very sweet voice, but she has sung a couple of times on this sessions before. But if somebody else wants to volunteer, if not, Palika Mataji, please be ready. Meena Mataji, do you want to sing it?
I don't mind, but Palika Mataji, yeah, if she wants to, yeah, that's fine as well.
No, I think because it was your idea, perhaps maybe you should sing it. We'll all mute and you can sing it and we will sing along behind the muted mics.
Okay.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlad Ladadayini. Hiranya Kasipurvakshaha. Silatankanakalai. Ito Nashingo Parato Nashingo. Ito Narsingo Parato Narsingo. Yato Yamita to Nashingo. Yato Yamita to Nashingo. Bahe Nashingo Hridaye Nashingo. Bahe Narsingo Hridaye Narsingo. Narasimha Malim Saranam Prapade. Narasimha Malim Saranam Prapade. Tavakara Kamalavare Naka Adbhuta Sringa. Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadrita Narhari Rupa. Jai Jagadisa Hare. Jaya Jagadisa Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Kesavadrita Narhari Rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Narasimhadev. Jaya Narasimhadev. Jaya Narasimhadev. Jaya Narasimhadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki,
Jai.
Prahlad
Jai.
Maharaj ki,
Jai.
Nittai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari.
Hari Bol.
Wonderful.
Very
Wonderful.
nice,
So nice.
Mataji.
So
Very
nice.
nice.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nicely sung. Beautiful.
Very nice sung. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, devotees, thank you so much for
Haribol.
joining. Please enjoy the rest of the day, whatever is left. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Guru Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu.